Okay guys, so I'm gonna make a little video about my fuel sending unit. This might help some of you if your fuel gauge doesn't work right or doesn't work at all for some reason. So my car's a 70 Nova. This is the fuel sending unit that just comes out of the tank. It has a little lock ring and an O-ring that goes on here. I've taken them off right now, but essentially this thing's kind of cool. There's a little inside this thing here is kind of a little, I don't know how to call it, like a grooved type of little track thing, and there's a little mechanism in here on this pivot, and so basically when you fill your car up with gas, this float goes up and down, and there's a little contact in here that will contact with this little strip that's in here. I'll take this apart again and show you guys. Mine, initially I just got it to work, but this was super loose. You couldn't feel it making contact with anything in here, and you should feel it rubbing, but I'll take it apart and let you see that. Other than that, to make it work, in the trunk area of the car, there's a little wire with a, I don't know what you call the connection, but this is just a post, and the wire just goes right on top of that. Has a little terminal connector thing on it. I'll show you that. I guess I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but other than that, let's see, it just has a ground wire. So if you ground it and hook up this wire, which this wire comes through the harness from the from the fuse panel up under the dash, and it goes back through the car. It's a tan wire, and it's sort of tied in with the tail light harness. And this does get power. It's very low voltage though. I put my test light on it and it just barely glows at all, but it does get power. So got the sock on here for the filter. I'm not gonna have to change that somehow, but so anyways, let me tear this apart a little bit more and I'll show you guys what's inside this deal. Actually, before I do actually take this apart, let me just show you how it works. See if my phone will focus here. So there's a little, let's see if it'll focus. There's a little metal tab right here. You can kind of see it under my finger. It rolls over, and then there's two on this side right here as well. I don't know if you can see them real good. There's one here, and then one right there. So you just kind of bend those out a little bit, and this piece comes off. So I'm going to do that here real quick. Okay, so now I've got this popped open, and it's a little bit hard to show. But this little lid here, you know, I popped it off, and then there's this little, I don't know if you can see it real well. This little guy right here has a kind of like a copper contact thing on it. Let's see if the phone will focus on here so you can see it. So there's a little contact there, this little springy thing. And then that, let me see if I can turn it. See if we can see inside of here. See a little track inside of there? Right here, it's got a, I don't know if you can hear it. There's like little grooves in that. So this little deal here just kind of when you pivot the there we go. When the float goes up and down, it swivels that back and forth, and it rides on this little track. So I think mine just wasn't making contact with the track well, so it just kind of, let's see, I just kind of bent it out a little bit more, and I got it to work, but I think I'm gonna actually sand this contact a little bit, and then get in here and kind of clean this up in here a little bit so it contacts it real well. But I cleaned this up, and I bent this and got it to contact it, so when I swiveled it I could feel it touching this, and then I hooked the wire up to the post here on the top, and I just grounded this to the back of the car, and then turned my key on, and I moved the float, and the gauge actually moved from full to empty, so it started working. So that was pretty cool. So I guess if yours isn't working, then potentially you could tear yours apart and do the same kind of thing. It's pretty basic, really. So maybe something's broken in yours if it's not working, but this is essentially all there is to it. There's a wire here like a strap that connects this housing up here to the top part, but that's it. So hopefully that helps someone out. I'll catch you guys another time.